today I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to share with you my 5 favourite, yes, that's 5, we love a 5, don't we? My 5 favourite blouse patterns. And then secondly, I'm going to need your input in this season of April with the blouses. We'll be looking at how we can hack them, all sorts of things. So I'm really excited. So I better crack on with today's episode. Hello everyone, it's about to be April, which in my mind means I get into the territory of thinking about blouses. The main reason that I get inspired by blouses is a challenge called Sew April Blouse, which is in its 5th year this year, but also that it's that time of weather for us in the Northern Hemisphere where actually you don't need to have a jumper on every day. Over the years, I have sewn a lot of items, a lot of clothes, a lot of sewing, but it has only been in the last few years that I've really got into blouse sewing. And once I got into it, I've sewn a lot. The good, the bad, the wonderful, the disappointing, I've been there. I am very excited about April this year because I'm going to do a multi-part series about sewing blouses with you. I kind of used to think of a blouse as a bit of a don't know, like an old-fashioned sort of frumpy word. And I don't even like saying that, but that's what my mind did. But once I started looking on YouTube, looking on Instagram, getting inspiration, I changed my mind. And I hope that if you're still in that world, I can change your mind too. The lovely Cloth Edit, who organises Sew April Blouse, has done a little mini article on what she defines as a blouse. It's pretty loose. I'll give you the shortened version. Anything that's not a structured button-down shirt doesn't have to have buttons. It can be sort of a all-in-one piece front. It's just about a lovely sort of flowy top that's not really a t-shirt basically, or a jumper. So I will link that below so you can go and have a bit more of a read. I will of course talk about what I'm wearing, what's on the mannequin during this chat. Please don't worry. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sam, I'm Sequin Girly, and welcome to my channel. So let's talk about ones that I've really enjoyed. Now I'm going to start with one that you actually, as a regular viewer, might not have seen a lot, which is the I Am Barbara, which is by I Am Patterns. Now I have picked this one because I have already sewn it a couple of times, and I did a full-on toile and then made an amazing one, which I still haven't finished the sleeves on. I just annoy myself sometimes with things like that. And I've made another one as well. Now, the reason I've chosen this one is because it does that thing of taking a classic button-down shirt and elevating it. I love an elevated detail, and it has this amazing flounce. I'm going to put pictures on screen while I'm talking, but what it does is give you multiple options to have a really gathered long flounce, a shorter flounce, and that's front and back, and you can do it with and without, and make it into a dress or a shirt. So I chose this because sometimes we just want to have something that feels sort of put together but a bit more you. Now if you've got a lovely flowy fabric like a viscose, this would work brilliantly. The one thing to bear in mind is if you do the longer flounce and have it front and back, when you lift your arm up, you can see the inside of the fabric. So you just need to think, with a fabric like this, the inside is just a slightly paler version of the outside, so it wouldn't really notice. But a fabric like this is very white on the other side. So you just have to think about whether you want that on show or not when you're choosing your fabric. But for me, it takes that classic sort of shirt look and takes it somewhere else, which I love. And it's a really lovely sew as well. It's really enjoyable. Now my next one is actually a pattern that I have been sewing for a lot of years, and it is well known in a lot of the sewing community, and it is the Friday pattern company Patina Blouse. I have made many variations, including one in quilting cotton, several that I've hacked into dresses. I have done it with and without the collar because I don't mind a collar on a V, but sometimes you just want a bit of a smoother line, and I like that you can just leave it off because it has a facing, so you don't have to worry. It is a great pattern in that you can make it in different fabrics and it works really well. You can easily adjust the sleeves, and I really like that they've got different levels of V on there as well. Now, little tip for you, because of my short distance between shoulder and sort of breastplate here, I even have to heighten that up a little bit more. If you want more details on the patina blouse, I've done a whole episode, which I'm pointing at here, which I'll link below as well, so you can really go into depth on that. But if you just Google Find a Pattern Patina Blouse, you'll be able to see lots of lovely variations, lots of lovely pictures. And if you are a newer sewist, it is a really great introduction to doing the button plackets because the instructions are really clear. There's lots of sew-alongs, not lots of reviews. So it is one of those patterns that you can't help but stumble over finding lots of versions of it and reading other people's advice and watching sew-along. So it's a really great one when you're looking for that sort of V option of with and without a collar. I think I've said something different, haven't I? Option with and without a collar, and it just works in lots of different fabrics as well. Now, my next one is this one here. I promised you we would talk about it. And this is a free pattern. It is the Romy Lantern Sleeve by Tiana's Closet. And you can get her patterns now in A0 and A4, a lot of them. Some of our own original patterns only come in A4, but this one does come in A0. And it is quite a straightforward front and back top, no bust darts or anything, quite a scoop on the neck. And this is the detail that I love, that you have this lantern part here. This was my first introduction into a lantern sleeve when I sewed this, and then you have a little cuff on the end. I have done a detailed video with advice on this, so I'll link that down below as well. And this is the kind of top that, depending on what fabric you make in, to how much it accentuates the lantern. This is a super drapey viscose, so it creates a nice definition but doesn't stand out. If you sewed it in a sort of a more of a 100% cotton or sort of like a viscose twill, you would get that sort of stronger sort of shape on the lantern. I love this pattern. I have made it, I think, 5 times now, and I have played around a little bit. I did put a yoke on the back of one of them, and this is what we're going to go into in the series, is how once you've got a pattern you like, you can take it and do other things with it. But if you're looking for a top that is a great shape with a nice bit of interest that works beautifully with some of those viscoses we're seeing around, this is my top pick for you, and it's free. Who doesn't love a free pattern? So my next one is a new one. I'm checking the number. Yes, this is number 4. Is a newer one to me, and it's the Sohini puff sleeve top. Now, I will be talking about this in a lot more detail in a video coming, but I wanted to mention it now to you because if you're looking for something different this April, this might be the one for you. So the Sohini puff sleeve top has a V shape embedded into it, a half raglan / half cut-in sleeve, a lovely sort of puffed shape to the sleeve, and just it's really quite unusual. Warning, if you are a beginner sewist and you've never sewn like a V shape into another piece of fabric, the instructions are not very clear, hence why I'm going to record something to help with that. But if you are someone who's up for a challenge, someone who likes to do research, or someone who's a bit more experienced sewist, I would highly recommend the Sohini puff sleeve. It's also by Tiana's Closet. What I would say about all Tiana's Closet patterns is she does have lines for the seam line, my brain today, and the cut line, which can be really confusing. So if you get your patterns printed like I do, you can leave them a message and ask them not to print both lines, because otherwise it is almost impossible at points to find which bit you're cutting. But it is a really interesting pattern, and I'm always on the lookout for something a bit different. Now, my final one of my pick is Twig and Tale Vista top. And what I really love about Twig and Tale is they offer sleeve add-ons. Now, in the series, we're going to go into this in a lot more detail, but what a great way to elevate a pattern and give you so many more options. Now the Vista is similar to this top but has bust darts and a V, but apart from that, very similar here. And because of the sleeve add-on, you have multiple sleeves that you can try, which I have. So I'm going to put pictures in here of me in some of my Vistas. Now I again found the Vista V a little bit low, so I needed to elevate that up. I will do a tips video if you'd like, let me know, on how to elevate up your V without affecting like your arm opening, because if you lift your shoulder up, you bring that up as well. But I really like their instructions, and this is one of the reasons why I've left this one to last, because I would really highly recommend this whether you are an experienced or new sewist. They really take you on an amazing journey with their instructions. I'm rummaging trying to find the instructions and can't. The instruction booklet is super clear. The pictures and images are super clear. Their steps really take you through what to do. They have a lovely finish on the way they do things. Their blog on their website has lots more ideas, and they have really, really great pattern fitting adjustments. So they take you through how to do the full bust, small bust. They also consider other aspects of people's bodies. So for example, mastectomies, all sorts of things, pregnancy. They are the most inclusive brand I've ever come across for teaching you how to adjust a pattern to work for your body. And so it is my top pick. And as I say, I think I've made at least 5. I'll put the number on once I've counted them. It is a beautiful pattern and so wonderful to be able to find a pattern block that works beautifully. I did a little narrow shoulder adjustment because I needed it, but so many sleeve choices. So there we go. They are my top 5 blouse patterns for you. 2, 3 from different pattern companies. Let's now talk about the one I'm wearing. Now I haven't put this in the pic, although I would, but the reason I haven't is because it isn't available anymore and I wouldn't want to disappoint you. Now this is the Marilla Walker Nautilus top. And this is with the sleeve that comes with it added on, and that comes here. So it's a drop sleeve and then you add in the sleeve, and it has pleats here and again a sleeve cuff. So I love that it's a drop shoulder then with the sleeve added in. There is a plain scoop neck front or a V-neck front. Now, little secret here, if you put buttons on, I can't undo these. These are just stitched on because it goes over my head. So why would I waste time with making buttonholes when I don't need to? I bet you hadn't even noticed there wasn't buttonholes. So this is a lovely pattern and I love it a lot. If you are a member, we can then talk about that. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, have a look at that join button because we can talk about that. But publicly, it's not available anymore, unfortunately. There are other patterns like this out there. So what next? Well, as it is Sew April Blouse, I will put at the end of my episode the details of Sew April Blouse. So if you want to take part, you know how. The great thing is you can put your pictures up on Instagram at any point during the month. There's not one day, and all of that, as I say, will come up at the end. But what I am going to do for this series is show you how to take a block of your choice, whether it's the Romy Lantern sleeve block, the Vista, any blouse block that you've got, whether it's plain or placket, and how we can do lots of different sleeves. Now I have a wonderful book called Mad About Sleeves, and that has lots of inspiration in it. And we're going to start with looking at some of the more classically known sleeves. Then we'll go on to doing some other interesting ones. And then we'll talk about other hacks, because I'm a big believer that if you find a pattern you like the Marilla Walker Nautilus or the Vista top for me, you can take it to a lot of places without needing to buy any other patterns. So tell me, what sleeve would you like to see? And also tell me, do you have a favourite blouse pattern? Because I would love to see them. And also, what problems, challenges do you struggle with blouse tops? What hacks would you like to see? Because this is your chance to help tailor what I put together for you this month. Because I'm excited to work with you to solve this. And of course, in the last episode, I am going to be styling up the blouses, showing you different ways I wear them, showing you how I put the colours together, that sort of thing. And also advice about if you've got a big sleeve, what can you put out, because that is a big sleeve, what can you put over the top on those chillier days? So there will be a final episode. And in that last episode, if anyone sends me their blouses or I see great blouses I like, I'm going to do a little showcase in there too. Catch you again soon.